Welcome back to Lost Chapters, where we travel back in time to uncover history's forgotten tales, stories of courage, betrayal, and rebellion that the world has tried to bury. Today, we bring you the untold story of one of history's fiercest female warriors. A woman who stood against the world's greatest empire and nearly won. This is the legend of Boudica, the warrior queen who defied the mighty Roman Empire and shook the foundations of Roman Britain to its core. The year was 60 AD. The Roman conquest of Britain was in full swing. The empire, led by Emperor Nero, had stretched its iron grip across vast lands. But in the misty hills and dense forests of Britannia, trouble was brewing. The Iceni tribe, known for their independence and warrior spirit, had struck an uneasy alliance with Rome. Their king, Prasutagus, ruled as a client king, a fragile balance between submission and sovereignty. But when King Prasutagus died, he left his lands to both his daughters and the Roman emperor, hoping to preserve peace. Instead, the Romans betrayed them. The Roman governor, Gaius Suetonius Paulinus, seized Iceni lands, flogged Queen Boudica publicly, and, most shockingly, ordered the brutal assault of her daughters. It was an act of unimaginable cruelty, and the spark that lit the fire of rebellion. Boudica, once queen, now became something more, a symbol of fury, justice, and vengeance. She united not just her own tribe, but neighboring tribes who had suffered under Roman oppression. The Trinovantes and others who had watched their lands pillaged, their gods desecrated, their people enslaved. Together, they formed an army unlike anything Britain had ever seen. A massive force, tens of thousands strong, armed with swords, axes, and burning rage. Their first target, the Roman stronghold of Camulodunum, modern-day Colchester, a symbol of Roman domination, complete with its temple to Emperor Claudius. The warriors descended upon the city with fire and fury. Roman defenders outnumbered. Unprepared were slaughtered. Buildings were set ablaze. The temple of Claudius was torn down. It was just the beginning. The fall of Camulodunum sent shockwaves across Roman Britain. The Roman settlers, who had once mocked the Britons' so-called savagery, now faced a force they could neither understand nor stop. But Boudica's vengeance wasn't satisfied. Her rebellion was just beginning. Word of the uprising spread like wildfire. Roman authorities scrambled, but they were caught off guard. Their forces were scattered, their cities ill-prepared. Next, Boudica set her sights on the heart of Roman administration in the south, Londinium, today's London. At the time, Londinium was a young and thriving commercial hub, full of merchants, Roman officials, and a growing population. But it lacked walls, it lacked soldiers, and it lacked time. As Boudica's colossal army approached, the Roman governor, Suetonius Paulinus, faced a brutal decision. He could stay and defend the city and lose everything, or abandon Londinium to save his forces for the battles ahead. He chose retreat. The citizens were left to their fate. When Boudica's army arrived, there was no mercy. Londinium burned. The streets ran red with blood. Homes, markets, temples, all reduced to ash. The rebellion didn't stop there. The rebel forces advanced further to Verulamium, modern St. Albans, another Roman center. The result was the same: total destruction. By now, Boudica's forces had slaughtered an estimated 70,000 to 80,000 Roman settlers and allies, men, women, and children. It was one of the deadliest revolts in Roman history, but behind the flames and fury lay deeper truths. Boudica wasn't just fighting for her family's honor. She was fighting for the freedom of an entire culture, a way of life that Rome was erasing with each passing year, with every temple to Roman gods, every tax collector, every fort. For a moment, it seemed the rebellion might succeed. The Roman Empire, known for its invincibility, was bleeding in the far reaches of its empire. But Rome would not give up so easily. Governor Suetonius Paulinus, a ruthless and seasoned commander, rallied what forces he could. He knew he needed to choose his battlefield carefully, one where Roman discipline and tactics could outmatch sheer numbers. The decisive confrontation was coming, at a place historians now call the Battle of Watling Street. It would be a clash of civilizations, the power of the world's greatest empire against the unstoppable rage of a people fighting for survival. The fate of Britain and Boudica herself would be decided there. The stage was set in the heart of Roman Britain, somewhere along the ancient road known as Watling Street. Two worlds were about to collide. On one side, Boudica's army, tens of thousands of fierce warriors, a tidal wave of human fury armed with swords, spears, and chariots. On the other, a much smaller Roman force, around 10,000 soldiers, disciplined, battle-hardened, led by Suetonius Paulinus, who knew that one wrong move could mean the end of Roman Britain. Suetonius chose his ground with cunning precision, a narrow defile, with dense forests on either side and no room for Boudica's superior numbers to maneuver. The Britons, confident after their string of victories, advanced with everything they had, their women and children even watching from wagons at the rear, believing this would be the day they shattered the Roman yoke forever. Legend tells us that Boudica rode her chariot along the front lines, her daughters by her side, calling upon her gods, her ancestors, and the spirit of Britain itself. Her speech, though lost to time, was remembered as a cry for freedom over slavery, death over dishonor. And then the battle began. Wave after wave of Britons hurled themselves at the Roman lines. But Roman discipline held. They formed the deadly testudo, or tortoise formation, interlocking shields, creating an unbreakable wall. At the signal, Roman infantry advanced in tight formation. Using short swords gladi with brutal efficiency, javelins flew. Cavalry struck the flanks. The massive Celtic host, unable to maneuver in the confined space, collapsed into chaos. Panic swept through the ranks as warriors tripped over their own dead, trapped between the advancing Romans and their own wagons. It was a slaughter. Historians estimate that over 80,000 Britons were killed. While Roman losses were minimal, just a few hundred, the rebellion was crushed. The dream of a free Britannia died on that battlefield. As for Boudica, no one knows her exact fate. Some say she drank poison rather than be captured. Others claim she fell in battle. Her body was never found, but her legend would live on. In the aftermath, the Romans tightened their grip on Britain. The memory of the warrior queen who defied the empire, but would echo through the ages. The story of Boudica did not end on the battlefield. Though the Roman Empire claimed victory, the memory of this fierce warrior queen, a woman who stood against one of the mightiest empires in history, has endured for nearly 2,000 years. Her name became a symbol of resistance, not just for the people of Britain, but for anyone who has ever faced oppression, for those who refuse to bow, for those who choose freedom over fear. Boudica's story reminds us that history is not just about kings and empires. It is also about the voices of the forgotten, the courage of the few, and the undying power of the human spirit. This was another untold chapter from the 1st century, brought to you by Lost Chapters. If you found this story gripping, if you want to discover more hidden and thrilling moments from the past, we invite you to subscribe to Lost Chapters. Hit the like button, share this video, and join us as we continue to bring you the forgotten stories that shaped the world. Because here, at Lost Chapters, every forgotten story deserves to be told